obviously, I talked before I went away about what I wanted to do differently on the desk, and that I feel the one area that's become really stagnant in an esports broadcast is the analysis desks, because it goes, host, analyst 1, analyst 2, host, analyst 1, analyst 2, analyst 2, analyst 1, host, sponsored segment, host, game. And it just kind of, it's just too formulaic for me. And what I wanted to do with the guys, and, I said this to Maniac, I said this to Pimp, I said this to Blair, I said, conversations are organic. And the most compelling conversations, whether it's in real life, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's on a sports talk show, it's when they just go and go and go, and everyone's into it. And there's crosstalk and interruptions and voices being raised and stuff like this. And I just said, like, go for it. Just go for it. I'm going to toss something out into the middle. Listen, I'm going to throw the grenade into the middle of the room. You decide. You can jump on it, you can pick up on it, or you can watch it explode. It's your call. But it's going out there. I'm going to put it out there, and you guys do what the fuck you want with it, but do something interesting with it. Don't ignore it. And that was the rule. That's how I approached desk hosting. And so we threw it out there, and Maniac, what me and him are like kindred spirits. Like, every time I put something out, Maniac knew exactly where to go with it and knew exactly how to elevate the material. Blair, totally the same. Blair was like, never shied away from giving an opinion. And keep in mind, it's harder for Blair because Blair wasn't a pro player. Blair never competed at a major, right? He's the guy. Everyone goes, well, what do you know? Right? But Blair was in there too. He got in the mix. He's the one taking the bigger risks. Pimp, when I said it to him, I said, I know it's not within your comfort zone, but please, just come along for it. And in they went. And as Harry says in the chat there, yeah, this is Blair's first major final, guys. So when we had that 3-man desk, all of a sudden, it gets even more difficult to manage because we've got 3 voices. And I'm telling everybody, get your elbows in to the conversational ribs and make sure you get yours. And space isn't offered, it's taken. And it's taken by having something to say. And there were so many good little bits. There were so many good one-liners. Pimp had so many jokes, and so did Blair, and there was so much back and forth, and there was bits where, we were so compelled to listen to what Pimp said on the far left of the table. Me and Maniac were literally leaning across the table to make eye contact with him, and that's a desk. That's what they should be. Because if we're having fun and we're interested, it therefore extends that you should be having fun and you should be interested. And a desk segment isn't for everyone. But let's put this to bed once and for all. All the analysts that work this show understand it. You, and not you, but you generally, the fans, you don't want dry statistical analysis. You don't. Sometimes you say you do, and I understand why you say that. Because you want to be seen to know about the game and to be better at the game. And maybe some of you even harbor dreams of being a pro. But that isn't what you want, because that's not what you talk about after you watch a final, when you're in floods of tears because your favorite team won, or your favorite players raising the trophy and doing an emotional post-match interview. You don't talk about how actually he won 5 out of 10 duels. You don't say that. You say, oh my God, Simple got his major. I can't fucking believe it. I'm so happy for him. What's Boomich about to do with the microphone? That's what you talk about, and that's what we should talk about. That's the connectivity. You might never understand the game on a level Maniac does, right, or Pimp does, them having been former pros, or even the current pros when they're guests on the desk. But you know what you do have in common with them? You love the game to the same level. You get excited to the same level. You feel it the same way, you react the same way, the highs hit you the same, the lows hit you the same. That's the bridge. That's the bridge. Not the numbers, not the fucking heat maps, none of that. What the connectivity is in the love of the game. And so I said, particularly for the final, let's not get bogged down in the numbers. Let's not get bogged down in the minutia. Let's paint a big, beautiful, glorious picture about what this means for both teams. Let's talk about how Spirit aren't here when they were the hot favourites, and how it hasn't been a good tournament for Phenoms, and how this could be legacy defining for Carrigan. Because if Carrigan wins this second major on home soil, he might conceivably be the GOAT. I bet Glave's watching at home, terrified, mopping his brow. Let's talk about Na'Vi, the international lineup that everybody doubted. Cut Immer, bring back Simple. Simple's in the building, watching, waiting for his opportunity to come in this team. Let's do it. Let's paint these big, beautiful fucking pictures for everyone at home so you understand the stakes. That's way more interesting and compelling than Immer has an 80% headshot ratio. Like, nah. And by the way, think about how that was reciprocated by things that made no sense. Things you could not predict. Alexi B top fragging in a map on FaZe's pick, so they win it. JL, the MVP of the major, clutch after clutch after clutch, jumping on top of his desk, swinging his shirt around his fucking head. Like, it's just as well we didn't bother with statistical analysis, because by the end, we would have looked like fucking fools. And so, I contend, for future desks, even, you know, if there's any hosts out there that watched the show and thought, this is kind of good. Don't worry, I've got plans. I've already talked to PGL. We're going to make it better. We're going to refine it. We are going to make these the best desks in esports. I promise you. I won't rest until we get to what I believe a desk can be. But just copy that philosophy. And that is that the human element will always trump the statistical element. There's a million people that can break down a demo online days after the event, and it'll be really interesting and really helpful for the people who want to improve. But what they cannot do is in the moment capture the stakes. Because I tell you, when you look at video footage of Carrigan crying, having lost again in the Royal Arena, there isn't a statistic that captures why that's important or why that happened, why that matters, what that means. So, numbers overrated. The human story is what really matters when we're doing this. So, we're super happy with the way the desks went and really thought people enjoyed them. Looking forward to doing more of them.
I let you off once before, but you still got the nerve to come back here and make